I did a movie now 15 years ago, and I've done several films after that. But why do we ask this question to every actor that, oh, aapne wo picture banai thi? But we make dramatic films all the time. Do you ask a romantic hero that, oh, this is similar to your other romantic films? There are no pressures.
Okay.
You're also talking to somebody who's pretty good at dealing with pressure and comparisons. I mean, the media has made me used to comparisons from the start of my career. So I've made a movie. They made a web series. They're two totally different narrative forms. Right?
True.
So I knew right there that my product is very different to what Scam has made. I finished the shooting of Bob Biswas, which was left halfway through because of the lockdown. I was shooting in Kolkata when the lockdown was announced, so I had to come back. So we had a good 15-20 days of shoot, which I went in December and finished Bob Biswas.
Hi guys, this is Himesh and welcome to Pinkvilla. Today we have with us the big B, the big bull Abhishek Bachchan with us and his director Mr. Cookie Gulati. Welcome to Pinkvilla guys, it's a pleasure having you here.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.
To start with, when you were offered the character which is based on Harshad Mehta, how did you first react?
Well, to be honest, we were very clear that we wanted to make a fictitious film, which is going to be inspired by certain influential figures in the financial market and influential incidents that happened during that period of time. So I would not say that it's based on any one person. It's inspired by several inspirational stories. But before, I remember, Cookie, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was early 2019 when Ajay called me and said that, he's got this one script which he wants to produce and he wanted me to act in it. And I think Cookie and I met soon after that. Early 2019, no, Cookie?
Yes.
Yeah. And his first pitch to me, which I thought was so interesting, Himesh, was he actually told me a story of a guy, and I don't remember verbatim the words, but it was, so this is the story of a boy who grew up in a chawl and his life takes him to the most expensive two-play apartment in India. It's the story of this guy, that from a chawl to a two-play apartment. I thought that was so interesting. And he did this all in 5 years. I thought that was even more interesting. So it was about the meteoric rise of this one character and what all went into causing that rise, what all went into, achieving his lofty dreams that he had. And then also how he, to show the process in which he did it. So I found that as a concept very interesting. And at that point, we didn't even start discussing the backdrop of the financial markets.
Okay.
It was just an emotional story and this journey of this one character.
And Cookie, was there any particular reason why you decided to go fictional in terms of approach and the character names? Because, when someone says the Big Bull, the first name that comes to the mind is Harshad. And the film is also based in the same era. So what was the thought process behind giving...
If I can answer that, Cookie, if you don't mind.
Yes, sir, of course.
Yeah, directors are better when they're behind the camera telling the actors what to do. So actors also like to speak more. See, let's be very clear. Himesh, we're making a movie for our audiences. We're not making a docudrama. So I believe when you're doing that, there's a certain element of dramatization that you need to bring into your narrative.
True.
To make it appealing to everybody. If we made the film very technical with, I don't want to use the word research because everybody does research, but if we made it a very technical film, I think without a certain dramatization, it would become very bland, it would be very dry.
Yeah.
So when you're making a film, which we were very clear we're making for a pan-India audience, for all age groups, this isn't a film about the stock market. This is a journey of a man, like I said, from a chawl to the most expensive house in India within 5 years. It's an aspirational, inspirational story.
Yeah.
And there's a certain element of dramatization I feel in movie making that you need to bring in as well. There's a certain creative liberty you have to take. And that is why Ajay and Cookie took that decision even before they came to me, that we don't want to base this on any particular person and call it a biopic. Because then when you do that, there's a huge amount of moral responsibility on you to be absolutely authentic. I personally believe, I hope Cookie will agree with me, but I personally believe if you're making a biopic on somebody, you owe it to be 100% authentic. In that authenticity, there might be things which might not appeal to a common moviegoer.
Yeah.
So we decided to make a film. This is a proper commercial Hindi movie.
And Abhishek, when we look at the description that you gave to the character, a person from Chaul going ahead to become one of the richest person in Mumbai in the 90s.
The richest person in India. Yeah, that was the brief Cookie gave.
Yeah. So
India's first billionaire.
Yeah. And you have done a film like Guru, which also had a similar template. So how did you differentiate the two characters? Of course, both are set against different backdrops. But
I want to ask you all a question. I did a movie now 15 years ago, and I've done several films after that. But why do we ask this question to every actor that, oh, aapne wo picture banai thi? But we make dramatic films all the time. Do you ask a romantic hero that, oh, this is similar to your other romantic films? A film is a film. It's apart from the fact that it's just the narrative follows this one character from the start of his life, and sees his journey to achievement. Apart from that, there's absolutely no similarity to Guru.
Abhishek, you have been shooting. You have completed shooting for Bob Biswas very recently, and it is one of the most iconic characters of Indian cinema in last 15 or 20 years, easily. What are the pressures like for that character and that film?
There are no pressures. You're also talking to somebody who's pretty good at dealing with pressure and comparisons. The media has made me used to comparisons from the start of my career. So, and you've been comparing me to my father all my career, so I'm pretty used to it, and I don't think there can be a bigger comparison. So I'm pretty good at taking pressure. See, at the end of the day, Himesh, you can't think about these things, and if you're going to be thinking about these things, they're going to overtake what you're actually there to do. We're there to make a movie. Does the movie on a script level work for you? Is it something that you'd love to be a part of? And then you go about doing justice to your work. And that's where you should start and end. Don't get carried away by these comparisons and all. They make great copy. I understand that. I understand why people will ask that question. There's a huge amount of curiosity. But you just have to do your work to the best of your ability. I've never been somebody who's going to pay too much heed to comparisons. Because that's kind of just distracting you from what you're there to do. So, be it The Big Bull, be it Bob Biswas, be it Ludo, be it whatever. Whichever films. I'm shooting Dasvi right now in Agra. You have to do your work, because that's all that matters. At the end of the day, what matters is what is the product that you're going to put out. Before you will ask me, I'll bell the cat and so to speak, or talk about the elephant in the room. There was this huge chat about, is it, it's going to be compared to Scam 1992, etc., etc. I saw Scam last year. I loved it. And I remember I tweeted about it, and the team was very gracious to reply. I think it's an unbelievable achievement. I think they did such a wonderful job. Everybody, every department was just fantastic. From the acting to the direction to the writing to the technical aspects, everything was just superb. It was wonderful to see. And I'm seeing it after having made a film on a similar backdrop. But I've made a movie. They made a web series. They're two totally different narrative forms. Right? I knew right there that my product is very different to what Scam has made. Obviously, people are going to talk about comparison. It's human nature. I get it. What do we have to concentrate on? Doing the best that we can do. I feel we've made a good film. I'm very proud of the film. And I'm confident that people will see that. So when our first trailer came out, suddenly this whole talk of comparisons just stopped.
And last couple of questions, Cookie. What next for you after The Big Bull? Are you planning, the lockdown must have given you a lot of time to sit down.
He's finished 3 films already. 5 music videos, 3 films. We had to actually call his manager and take time from him to do these interviews. He's moved on from The Big Bull.
Now, I finished shooting one film, which is for T-Series. It has R. Madhavan in it. And so I've just finished shooting that. I have a few days left, which I'll rejoin them in May. So that's what's right now. At the moment, it's big bull, only big bull, sir.
I told him to say that. I told him to say that.
And for you, Abhishek, what next after Big Bull? You have Dasvi. That is something you're shooting. I believe you're also reuniting with John for a film. So what next for you?
Well, you know what happened with the Big Bull was we were ready at the start of the year. We finished shooting in December 2019, in fact, and the film was ready. We had announced an October release. Then the lockdown happened, and obviously all equations changed, and that's when Anandji and Ajay decided that we should go the digital route. And when they discussed with me, I really appreciated what their intention was. And when we decided to go digital with this film, I think it was in April, right, Cookie, last year?
Yes. Yeah.
Which was, the lockdown had just happened. Nobody really knew what was going on. We were all staring down this really long, dark tunnel. We didn't know if there was light at the other end. Our theatre is going to open up. If they open up, what is the situation going to be? And at that point of time, Ajay and Anandji felt that, look, let's go digital, because at least that way people get to see the film. And so that's when that happened. After that decision was taken, because we were going digitally, we wanted to add one or two elements to the film. So we had about 5 to 7 days of shooting that we wanted to add to make it more conducive for a digital release. And that they were meant to shoot in July, but unfortunately I was diagnosed with COVID, so I was unwell for almost a month. And then so we in September just completed whatever little patchwork we had. After that got done, I finished the shooting of Bob Biswas, which was left halfway through because of the lockdown. I was shooting in Kolkata when the lockdown was announced, so I had to come back. So we had a good 15-20 days of shoot, which I went in December and finished Bob Biswas. So Bob Biswas is now in post-production and will probably be the next release after the Big Bull. I finished that, and then last month I came to Agra, where I'm speaking to you from Agra right now, and I'm shooting my film Dasvi. So that I'll complete by end of next month. I finished that, and then in May, immediately I start shooting the next season of Breathe, which will go on the floors after that. And as soon as I finish that shoot is when I will get back to my jiggery poo and make my film with John.
Perfect. Thank you so much, and wishing you all the best for the release.
Thank you so much. Take care and be safe.
Thank you, Ramesh.
Thank you.